I'm fairly certain that I was not the only one who got excited when Herpa first announced this aircraft model, but not so much because of the model itself, but more because of the hope that Herpa, with the license of the airline, could release some narrow-body aircraft. That unfortunately never materialized, so we're stuck with this aircraft model, but is it actually any good? Well, we'll find out after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 777-200ER of Ukraine International Airlines. At the front of the box we have the cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and at the top of the box we have the Ukraine International branding. Then on the back side we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and we are provided with a web link by Herpa, where we supposedly can get more information about the aircraft model, but of course that link does not work anymore. And here she is, the Boeing 777-200ER in the current livery of Ukraine International Airlines. The 777 is the only of its kind in the Ukraine International fleet, and the airline is definitely not known for its huge intercontinental route network. Other than the 777, the airline has two 767s and then only narrow-body aircraft. But let's take a look and see what Herpa has managed to do with this aircraft model and see if it is actually any good. And we start our tour around the aircraft with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Ukraine International Airlines branding. On the fuselage we then have the aircraft type specification, the full registration code of the aircraft, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. Then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we find the writing of Ukraine International, both in English and in Ukrainian. We do also have the Ukrainian flag because, surprise surprise, the airline is based in Ukraine. The cockpit section itself really does not offer very much. It does have the cockpit windows and the window wipers, but that's it. From there we can then move on to the engines, or more specifically the engine nacelles, which, although don't have any safety markings, have the silver leading edge and of course continue the lovely color scheme of the airline from the tail. The physical detailing of the Pratt & Whitney engines, well, is quite alright, but I would argue that the engines are way too squeezed. They should be quite a bit longer, so just look out for that. But that is of course a known issue with all 777s from Herpa Wings, regardless if it's the Pratt & Whitney or the GE90 engines. Alright, now that we have taken a look at the engines, let's move on to the wings to see what they have to offer. And we start off with the top side, where we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out rather nicely. Overall, the physical detailing of the wings is quite alright. That's also the case when we look here at the underside. But other than the full registration code that has been printed on here, we are looking far and wide for any additional detailing. That's a bit disappointing. The landing gear itself, that is in my opinion just fine. That is a standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their 777s, regardless if it's the 200 or 300 series. Overall, a very decent job, but of course I would like to have just a few printed details at least at the front landing gear. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on at least that, here in the back side of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 777-200ER in the current livery of Ukraine International Airlines from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? OG viewers will know that I pulled this aircraft in one of the Herpa Halloween surprise boxes in 2020. And I think that says it all. I would never have bought this aircraft model otherwise, because it doesn't offer anything. I mean, it has the very most basic details an aircraft model needs to have, and it has a nice looking livery. But that's actually where the next issue is with this aircraft model, because in my opinion, Herpa has not managed to pull off the blue shades correctly on this model. In my opinion, it's far too bright and should be much darker. And there's a reason why this model was in a Herpa Halloween surprise box, because it just didn't sell very well. And it's no surprise, because had Herpa in 2018, when this model was released a 777-900ER or 800 or even an E90 of the airline, I would have bought it in a heartbeat, and I'm sure I'm not alone about it. But as a standalone model, it unfortunately just falls short. So unless you are a hardcore incarnated Ukraine International fan, I would say save your money and find something else. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.